What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a speed test with the Galaxy A52, the Poco X3 Pro, and the Redmi Note 10 Pro. The Poco X3 has the Snapdragon 860 and 6 gigs of RAM, and then on the A52 we have the Snapdragon 720G and 6 gigs of RAM, and then we have the Redmi Note 10 Pro with the Snapdragon 732G here. So if you don't know, Poco, Redmi, and then the A52. So let's go ahead and check out the Geekbench scores. Alright guys, so as we can see, the Poco X3 Pro has the highest score, 766, and then you can see the highest multi-core score out of the three, and then the Redmi Note 10 Pro is second here, and then the A52 is third in both the single core and multi-core score here. Now all of these phones are the same price as well, so let's go ahead and get started and see how that actually plays out in a real world test. Alright, so we're running Android 11 on all of these guys, so let's go ahead and get started. All applications have been cleared out. Alright, open YouTube. Poco, Redmi, A52. So it is playing out how we thought it would play out with the Geekbench score so far. Now, what is pretty interesting here is you have 120 Hz on both of these, Xiaomi and Poco phone, and then the Galaxy has 90 Hz. Still very smooth, but you will notice the difference. It's a subtle difference. It's not a huge difference, but it's subtle when it comes to scrolling. The 120 Hz versus the 90 Hz speed there. Open Subway Surf. Poco, we're in. So you guys can see why I'm really impressed. Oh, we actually got a tie there with the Note 10 Pro and the A52 there. So that's pretty nice. Alright, let's keep going. Open Google Earth. X3, Redmi Note, and then the A52 last. Again, super smooth on all of these phones. Open Temple Run 2. Oh wow, we actually got the Poco and A52 tied, and then the Redmi Note 10 Pro sort of lagged behind there. Now, just because the Poco X3 Pro has the fastest processor doesn't automatically make it the better phone here, because it does have some trade-offs with that these two phones don't have. Like, it's got an IPS display. These phones have a AMOLED display, so that is something to think about as well. Open Alto. Again, Poco, Redmi Note 10 Pro right behind it, A52. What are the NBA standings?
The Nets currently lead the Eastern Conference.
Oh, the Redmi and Poco pretty much tied there. So the Redmi and Poco can tie when it comes to opening applications, that aren't games. Open Instagram. Again, Poco. See, yeah, these two pretty much tie when it comes to normal applications, and then as we can see, the A52 is just slightly behind. Again, that 120 Hz, you can feel the difference. Super smooth displays on all three though. Alright, so this is where the Poco differs itself when it comes to power, is when you're gaming. So this is where you'll notice, so if I'm in Pubg, and if I go to graphics, you can see I can do HDR and I'm able to go to Ultra HD, and I can do extreme frame rate, but I have to download it in the lobby. Now, on the Redmi Note 10 Pro graphics, it can only let me go to high FPS, and I cannot go any higher than that. And that is going to be the same thing on the Galaxy A52. They have the same exact gaming performance. See, high HDR. So the Poco is going to be the way better gaming device when it comes to your gaming speeds and FPS. So if you're paying the same price pretty much for all three of these phones, but this is where it actually differs itself the most, is when it comes to graphics settings and being able to play at higher FPS. Now, not to say that these two phones are not great gaming devices, because they're pretty good at gaming. I haven't had an issue with them, but again, you're not getting the maximum amount of value for your money with these two like you're getting with the Poco. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out speaker performance on max volume on both of these phones, or all three. So let's go ahead and start with the Poco. Okay, so what I'm hearing, and it's a little bit hard to get this one, but the Poco X3 Pro blows both of these two out of the water in terms of loudness and overall quality. It's just super loud and super punchy. I'm really impressed with the speaker quality on the X3 Pro. Now, it looks like the A52 might be a little bit thumpier than the Redmi Note 10 Pro. They're very close, but it seems like it just kicks a little bit harder. But all three are excellent sounding stereo speakers. I'm really happy that it's becoming normal to put stereo speakers on these budget devices here, or mid-range devices. So also, one of the things you're going to notice between these AMOLED panels and this IPS panel is that it's way brighter. I think I got this thing, yeah, it's just these panels are super bright. Yeah, the Poco is just not as bright or as vibrant. So that's one thing you'll notice with like an IPS. Right off the bat, you can usually tell between dullness and color with an IPS display, and then the overall brightness is just better. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.